The IT city, Bengaluru, woke up to another waterlogged morning as pre-monsoon showers battered the city overnight with over 100 mm of rainfall, which was recorded. The downpour left roads flooded, homes submerged, and citizens stranded. Overnight showers in Bengaluru once again brought the city to a complete standstill. The downpour, recorded at 105.5 mm by the IMD, triggered flooding in several parts of the city, including residential layouts and key junctions. You know, I'm going to just keep quiet for some time, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at these visuals and I come back. In areas like Sri Sai layout, Trinity Fortune layout, and also Rainbow Drive layout, water entered homes, forcing BBMP teams to evacuate residents using boats and tractors. A similar situation was witnessed in Shantinagar, where parts of the bus stand was completely inundated. Moreover, the toxic froth at Bengaluru Lake is now back, nearly a decade after it last made headlines. Now, experts blame unchecked chemical dumping and civic apathy because of why Bengaluru is, time and again exploding like this. Here's a ground report on what's causing the white foam to rise. Yet again, my colleague Mohammed Wadiullah's report.
What I'm going to show you is something that the city is seeing after 10 years. Yes, you're right. The froth that is getting accumulated here at this particular spot at the Bengaluru Lake is something that has come back again after 10 years. We had seen this 10 years back, huge clouds of froth flying across Bengaluru Lake, and since then we had not seen it accumulate. But right now we are seeing it again accumulate at this very spot after 10 years, and this is after 2 days of heavy rainfall, and all because of the chemical that is flowing. The current place where I am is the Yamlur Bridge, which is the connecting point from the water that surfaces from the Bengaluru Lake and then connects to the Vartur Lake. And this very spot had caught fire 10 years back, and the same froth had caught fire 10 years back. And now again you're seeing this after 10 years. So it gives you a sign that some things don't change. Let me speak to Manju. He's an activist who's been working here for quite some time. Manju, 10 years back we had seen this. Yes, now we are seeing it again. What does this mean?
So it's really too bad, and we are very sad because we are the residents of this lake, this village. After 10 years, we thought complete our picture will be changed in the lake. But this fog, what we are seeing is completely, it's a chemical, because across this lake, so many factories and so many apartments are there. They don't have proper FDP. Because of that only, this type of chemicals have been coming here. So many government promised, after 3 times, 3 governments came and gone. All promised that they'll come and they'll do some developments for the lake, but nothing has been done here.
Let me also clarify that the BDA was later seen cleaning stormwater drains in Bengaluru. But then what's the point, because the damage had already been done. The delayed response has raised very serious questions about preparedness. Take a look.
Every time before rain, the BBMP officials assure us that all the preparatory work before rains, before monsoon has been done. They will not have a problem during monsoon because they have done all the work. But let me show you something. It's been raining for the last 2 days, and you are seeing the BBMP BDA officials removing the waste from this lake that connects to the Vartur Lake, the Bengaluru Lake that connects to the Vartur Lake. They are cleaning it up right now. They are removing the seaweed right now. If this has been done beforehand, then this much seaweed would not have come out today. Now this is all because the work is happening right now as we speak, and this was not something that was done beforehand itself. Now this is how the situation is at most of the places where assurances have been given that work has been done.
Commuters on Monday morning were met with waterlogged roads across major junctions such as Koramangala, Indiranagar, Silk Board, which was really in bad shape, Electronic City flyover and Bannerghatta road. Traffic piled up as vehicles struggled to navigate submerged roads. In some cases, flyovers like the one in Electronic City had to be shut due to water accumulation. Residents in the worst hit area spent 3 hours without electricity. Power cuts were reported from Yelahanka, Hennur, Sivajinagar, BTM layout and Banaswadi, with residents complaining of not being able to pump water or cook due to lack of supply. DESCOM said several power feeders had tripped due to waterlogging and fallen poles. The Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Center recorded rainfall across 100 mm in various locations, including Kengeri, which is 132 mm, Geo Campus 125.8 mm, and Yelahanka Chaudeshwari, which is 103.5 mm. The Indian Met Department has issued a yellow alert for Bengaluru until 23rd or maybe even 24th of May, and an orange alert for Dakshina Kannada, Udupi, Uttara Kannada, Haveri and Belagavi. Bengaluru's flooding woes have yet again exposed the city's fragile infrastructure. As pre-monsoon showers continue, the focus now shifts to how effectively the authorities can act to prevent further urban paralysis, as it were. Joining us, Maria Hussain, who's a civic activist from Bengaluru, and Shekhar, who's a resident of Bengaluru, and Sandeep Anirudhan, civic activist and convener. Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru. A very warm welcome to all of you. Let me first go to Shekhar. Shekhar, where do you live?
The heart of Bangalore, madam, that is 100 meters from Commercial Street, the very famous street of Bangalore.
Yeah, right. So, you know what, I have done, Sandeep is someone who's joined my shows, like, I think for more than 2 years. We've done a lot of shows on potholes, on rains, on the terrible infrastructure in Bengaluru, where everyone wants to just talk about it and not do anything about it. We've shown a lot of visuals, but nothing like a first-person account, Shekhar. Why don't you tell us what you faced this time around?
Yeah, okay. I just want to say that I am born and brought up in this particular place, and it's almost 50 years. So, 40 years I've seen these rains. I used to enjoy these rains, but of late, some 10 years, since 10 years, this is giving a kind of a nightmare. And yesterday, it was like me in the Titanic ship, and I was surrounded fully by water. And there was no power supply. Rains were pouring up, and I mean, the Nala and the other roads on the both sides of the Nala was fully flooded, and everything was on the same level. The water was same level in the roads as well as in the stormwater drain. And the stormwater drain, the desilting started just last week. Maybe they also knew that there is going to be rain, and they started working on this. But anyway,
Interrupt you, Shekhar. We are getting some live visuals of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who's on a visit to locations which have been impacted due to incessant rain. These are pre-monsoon showers. We can see the Chief Minister in just a moment. There you see the Chief Minister has arrived, and also there is Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, who just got down. The space being made for these two leaders to kind of visit the places and see what's going on. Siddaramaiah arrived first, and then followed by Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar. All right. For all of you, the visuals will be visible on the screens even as we get back to the debate. There you will see Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar. All right, Shekhar, you were saying. Go on, Shekhar.
Yeah. So, stormwater drain was once upon a time, I used to enjoy it because very less water used to flow there. And I mean, that flow and the rain was actually so nice. Now it gives nightmares. I mean, yeah, today morning, the entire water sump, which is around 5,000 liters, was fully flooded with the drain waters. So I had to personally get down and clean this. I almost spent around 2 hours doing this, madam. I have to pull out all the 5,000 liters of waters.
All right. Let me also get Maria Hussain here. Maria Hussain, you know, it's a city in transition from BBMP to the Greater Bengaluru Authority. It's pre-monsoon showers which have really inundated the city. No one is to blame for how it rains. That's another conversation about, climate change, etc., etc., etc. But Maria Hussain, why is it that the BBMP has made at least 20,000 promises but does not fulfill even a single one? Sandeep and I have spoken in the past about Rajakaluve, which is the stormwater drains. Nothing has happened. He speaks about the 74th Amendment. Nothing really goes on about this. He talks about stakeholders. Nothing. Now, all this while we've heard, okay, BBMP is, now will decentralize it. The GBA is now in action. But what is this? What is going on, Maria Hussain?
Very unfortunate and improper planning, not taking warnings seriously, and waiting for an unforeseen circumstance to happen and then taking action. When we approach, like we, the civic leaders, we know whom to approach and how to get the work done. Unfortunately, the citizens are unaware as to whom to approach for what issues. What happens is we had big Rajakaluves, huge Rajakaluves, which would take this stormwater very nicely earlier, because like Mr. Shekhar said, I'm a Bengaluru citizen born and brought up in Bengaluru. Rains we used to enjoy in Bengaluru. Last 10 years have been a nightmare. Basically, because of the Rajakaluves disappearing and encroachments happening, nobody knows where the Rajakaluves are existing now. Because if the Rajakaluves were kept in proper shape, this wouldn't be happening. The city wouldn't be flooded. That's one. Second, improper planning. Like I said, when you say stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? It's the politicians, it's the citizens in and around that locality, and it's the government officials of different departments. But what has happened today is any decisions for our city's development is unfortunately taken in terms of political benefits, not considering or not looking at how it's going to be affecting the people and the citizen. We as citizens are not against the development of the city. We definitely welcome development, but not at the cost of troubling citizens like this, because it brings the city to a standstill. Like I said earlier, it is just pre-monsoons. It's not even monsoons. We just not completely finish our summer. So the preparing for monsoon should happen early summer.
Yeah, which BBMP, we did a story. I'm sorry to interject, Maria, but BBMP had said we are all getting very ready this time. We will not repeat. But what happened? Like you say,
it's all a lie.
It's all a lie. All a lie. It's all a lie. You think, Maria, before I go to Sandeep, no, wait a minute. Before I go to Sandeep, I want to ask you, Maria, you have hope with GBA? You think things will
Absolutely
improve?
No.
Yeah, that's
not at all.
That's it. That's what we were discussing the other day.
Absolutely no.
Sandeep Aniruddhan, come in here. Suppose you deal with it as a disaster, as a mishap, where you had a fire in Hyderabad. How do you mitigate the situation starting now? Where do you start? What do you do so that the city, because there is no guarantee, 23rd can become 25th, the rains will go on. What about the poor people? What about property loss? What about those who have missed it? There have been deaths there. You and I have done stories on this and discussions where a young girl, she died because her car submerged under a flyover. You remember the girl had come from Hyderabad. Sandeep Aniruddhan, tell me 3 things that can be done to immediately kind of improve the situation here.
Oh, Sudha, just to tell you, unfortunately, there's been a death already. I think it was yesterday or today, there was a wall collapse in Whitefield. So there have been deaths from this particular rain as well. See, this is a snowballing of all the things that have been done wrong in the last 30 to 40 years. When Bengaluru went through its phase of growth, it should have had planning. It did not have planning because the MPC, which is mandated to do planning, was kept in unoperational.
A second, Sandeep, please. Sandeep, give me a second. Those are the visuals or live visuals that we are getting inside the BBMP office. You can see Chief Minister Siddaramaiah taking stock of the situation, and also the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar. Those are the visuals right now. The flood situation due to the pre-monsoon showers in Bengaluru has gotten from bad to worse. Several areas are inundated. Several areas, the water has entered homes. The roads are full, and like Sandeep Aniruddhan, the expert on our show, said, there has already been a death due to a wall collapse in Whitefield. So those are the visuals. If you see 2 types of visuals. One, the real story, and the other, the politicians trying to solve it. Okay, can we go back to the debate as of now? All right, Sandeep, you were saying.
Yeah. So as a consequence of lack of planning, what has happened is we've had very unplanned development. So the development that has happened in Bengaluru should not happen anywhere, because this is leading to the collapse of the city. Constructions have happened on wetlands, on marshes, on floodplains, on Rajakalways, and once upon a time, we used to have the bottoms of all the valleys were Rajakalways. They were very wide. They were 10 meters, 20 meters, sometimes 30 meters wide. Today, you're lucky if you find the same thing. What is left is a 1 meter, 1 meter drain that poses to be a Rajakalway, and there'll be no buffer zone. Under law, we're supposed to have around up to 50 meters buffer zone on both sides, which is supposed to be green. If this is how development had happened, Bengaluru would have been resilient. It would have been resilient to rain.
I was asking you, no, it hasn't happened, Sandeep. I know, you and I know. But what do we do today? Shekhar, let me ask you that question as a resident. According to you, what should be done immediately right now when you get off this show? What is the solution? People are all saying, give us solutions. Don't give us, we all know. It's because of this, because I'm asking you, it's like a disaster. Look at that, look at the roads. Not at the BBMP, although some may say it is also one. But Shekhar, tell me, what would it be according to you?
Madam, this regular cleaning of the stormwater drain is very much important, which they neglect. After this rain is, after the rainy season, everything goes silent. We have this tendency of forgetting things. As a resident, we also, shout during the rainy season. Then after the rainy season, we also forget this and see what is next happening. Enjoy Deepavali, enjoy Christmas, and we just change our mindset like this. This has become everybody knows that. The BBMP officials very clearly know that, yes, all this shouting is for only these 2 months. If we just pass through this, then again, this will repeat next year.
What a pity that is. What a pity. It's like giving a very tough exam, that let the exam be over, then we can go for a movie, eat ice cream. City is a serious business, I say. You do not treat a city like we can only function during this time to this time. These are not birds, which are flying from one place to another. Maria Hussain, they said, I remember BBMP saying, we are all full gear. We've launched an app. Now we will go there, and we have got teams which we have formed. So and so will go and look at all the roads, which require repairs, because we know potholes. Pothole king city is Bengaluru today. Some of us will go and see to it that we are ready for the monsoon. What happens? According to you, what should happen right now? What do you think is the solution?
The first priority of the city right now is the local elections, which has been delayed for the last 10 years. We don't have local leaders. The citizens don't know whom to contact, whom to take their issues to and address their issues to. Without conducting our local elections, the MLAs are not able to handle the complete assembly, a complete constituency where we have 5 to 6 wards, where we need to have a local leader where the residents can go and complain. That's the priority that we need to look at. And secondly, like we just sit and see our DCM and CM looking at smart city where people reach out to for help. That's also not working. We don't have proper helpline numbers. What happens is when there is a sewage issue, when people get in touch with the BWSSB, they start the blame game starts. The BBMP, BWSSB, BESCOM don't work as a team. They start blaming each other. It's not because of us, it's because of them and then. So what needs to happen is all the other departments need to come under one umbrella, is what we keep saying. They need to come under one umbrella, and they need to be supervised in such a manner that the work is done on time, and somebody needs to supervise it. And also what happens is the city's development doesn't have inclusiveness. Like I said, it's political decisions. They don't include the citizens, the local residents. When there is a development work happening there at that particular location, the citizens there, the people living there need to be involved, which is not happening at all. The government doesn't think of including the residents living there and asking them what issues they have. But what the government does is, I can give you a very nice example. I stay in Shivaji Nagar. The road that I live in didn't actually need a white topping facility, because it's a residential area. It's a residential area where don't need white topping. White topping is actually required on a highway where you have heavy vehicles moving, main roads.
Okay.
So you have white topping, and in the name of white topping, they take about 6 months to complete 1 kilometer's
waste.
job.
I
Just
know,
1 kilometer.
I know, and you know, inconveniencing everyone. Sandeep Anirudhan.
Everybody. And what
Yeah,
happens is
Sandeep.
they've dug up and they've left those stormwater thing,
Yeah,
way
I
that
hear
they are
you. Yeah,
making
same story
with the
everywhere.
iron
Yeah,
rods popping
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
And now it's getting flooded.
Right,
The
right,
complete
yeah,
Bengaluru
yeah.
city is flooded. Nobody knows where the iron rods are.
Right,
When
Sandeep.
people are
Yeah.
walking, we are expecting
All right. Okay.
worst situation in
Yeah.
Bengaluru
Sandeep,
going
I'm
forward
giving you
because
the
it's
last
raining.
word. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm hurrying up because I only have 1 minute left. Sandeep Anirudhan, do you think GBA will give us some hope for Bengaluru, or you think it's a lost cause completely?
Good. GBA is everything that the solution to the city should not be, because the city requires more decentralization and devolution. Every ward is mandated to have a disaster committee, ward disaster management committee, which functioned during COVID and it did an excellent job. Where are they now? They don't exist. The GBA is going to centralize all the power further towards the state government. And the reason Bengaluru doesn't function today, why it has poor governance, is because the state has never allowed BBMP to have elections. It has never allowed it to build capacity. It
But
has
it's
never
time.
allowed BBMP to do its job.
But I
Now
think,
it is going to get worse. The
yeah.
GBA will be another
All right. Okay.
hassle in the air. All the
You
corporations,
know,
if you have multiple
it
corporations,
sounds like a nightmare totally, all of you, you know, that you seem to be sitting on a time bomb. But I'm sure those two gentlemen who are sitting in the BBMP office right now, they will find a solution. That's the hope. We all live by hope. That's the hope I have for Bengaluru, a beautiful garden city, as it were.